Kingpins. This is where the term comes from. If somebody says, he's the kingpin of the operation, it means it's the guy that holds everything together. Because that's what kingpins do. They're the primary pivot pin in this whole spindle operation. Yeah, there's bushings. Spindle carrier, let's start there. Spindle carrier. Bushings go down inside here. I file a groove where there's a groove. See the groove? Maybe you can see the groove, maybe you can't see the groove. Here, look, it's groovy, baby. Right there. That's a groove. Kingpin goes down through here, obviously through bushings that are reamed for straightness and trueness and all of the nesses. Kingpin goes in, spindle is my hand, if you will, and this is on the control arm and the spindle goes. All right, you get the idea. You got it. I gotta pop bushings in this. I gotta ream the bushings in this. I gotta paint the other one because I've sandblasted it and parts washed it. And now it's drying before I paint it up and make it all beautiful. And so I'm gonna go ahead and throw bushings in this. These are the good German Kingpins. These ones are from Germany. They're the best ones that you can get. They're the Gillette, not a sponsor, of Kingpins. What am I even doing? It's done raining. I mean, it's not done. It's gonna rain again, but like, you know, it's done for the day. It's not done for like ever. Don't worry, we'll have rain again. The atmosphere needs it. I gotta clean up. I made some phenolic spacers for a carburetor and used this vise, and there is dust. There's dust everywhere. All right. So to get these guys in, it's a pretty simple operation. It's kind of the same as taking them out. It's just brass punch and brass bushing, and you punch it and you bush it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Square it up. You can see it started itself a little bit there, which was really nice. Really nice of it to press itself down in there a little bit. From the top. And now there's a little play in this because I haven't put the bushing in the other side yet. So I can kind of rotate it around. Don't want to mushroom it, just want to tappy. All right, and then once you're at that level, then it becomes a game of this. Just knocking it all the way in. It needs to be flat, it needs to be flush with this surface. So that's probably it. See it move down there a little bit, little bit, right? Okay. The next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna file into that, but we can wait until we do the bushing on this side first. I'm gonna start it up a little bit. Start it up. Okay, and that's not gonna fit through there. So we'll use our other brass punch. So what I sometimes like to do after I get it started like that is I'll put a nice flat piece of something in there and I'll pound down on that. Ooh. Yeah, this'll work. And this has the nice cut U edge on it. So it's an old hole saw punch out, but it's flat and it fits up and it should do the trick. All right, now I've started to dent it up some. I should check and see where we're at. Might have to get something a little thicker. Dang, look at that. It's a little bit too, thought that would be a thick enough piece of style, but it doesn't look like it. I do have some discarded aluminum plate. And this is on the thicker side. It also has some cut U dead stuff on it. Let's try that. Ooh, that's nice, because aluminum's soft. We don't want to harm anything. Woo! Yeah, sinking it. Okay. Don't mind it. All right, let's ream it out. So we've got to make sure that this is nice and true and through. True and through. It's got to be true through and through. Through and through and true and true. I'll file this first and then run a reamer through it. What is it? Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. And we're going to do the phylum. Science jokes. Biological science jokes. I'm so popular. Not just science jokes, science pun. That's really when you know you're in an extra level of damnation. We got, that side's good. You got a little bit more to do on this side over here. It's hard to do one side without doing the other, but I'll angle the file a little bit. See if that gives it to us. Now I have another file here. It's a push-pull type. This has a clean edge on here, so it won't file down any further. And that other one was just a push. This is a push-pull. And this gives me just the ability to square it up nice. And then I got a tiny file here that gives me the ability to just pretty much cry. This one's just for crying. I call it my crying file. And there you have it. A nice groove filed into the brass bushing. Doesn't get groovier than that. The next step is going to be to pass a reamer down through it. Now then, people I meet on the street, they ask me, they say, why? Why do you have to ream the bushings in the link pin carrier for the Kingpin? And first of all, I say that's a lot of pins we're talking about. Honestly, the reason that you have to do it is because it's not true at all. This is not true. This situation, this is just, these bushings are just pressed in, they're gonna mushroom, they're gonna whatever. They don't really care. They produce these bushings, they're like, send them fat, send them plumped up, send them ready for the enjoyment. So look, it's not even the right size. You can't hammer that through. If you hammer that through, it'll just push the bushing back out. And this is the same deal, but you know, can't exhibit it or show it off. So, the answer, the solution, the answer to your question, and the question of those people on the street. Why do you ream it? You ream it so it fits. And so there's no play, and you don't over ream it, and you don't lean on your reamer while you're reaming it. You just wanna ream it. All right, you get it. Let's ream it. First thing you need for reaming it is a reamer. This is a special reamer because it's designed specifically for reaming the link pins, the Kingpin bushings rather, in the link pin carrier on a vintage Kingpin Beetle front end. Go figure, the right tool for the job, right? So here we go. You got a little starter blade at the top of the reamer, right? And then you got a middle blade, and then you got a well ground and machined to the correct ID. Now then, I've got two handles that I like. I got a short handle and a long handle for the leverage of it. And then I've got this beautiful 5/8 socket that fits. It's a 12 point, and it fits over the square end of my reamer. And I also have some reaming juice. I regret saying that. I have so many regrets. Technically this is a flex hone oil, but that's just technical. So yeah, it's not a cutting oil, but it'll kind of do the same job for what I'm looking to do here. And we're gonna pass this down through. And we're gonna keep going. Gentle now. And that's where we've got the ever so slightest bit of tension right now. Not a lot of tension, just the ever so slightest bit. So thankfully we're not gonna need the long handle on this. It doesn't seem like. So we're just going to take it easy. Little light pushing on it. But again, nothing crazy. We don't want it jogging around, being all nasty. It's taking material off. You can hear it doing its job. You ream these too loose, you gotta push them out and do them again. So there's no sense in putting too much like lateral push on it. You know, can kind of go from the end if you want. A lot of times I'll do it from top down. I think I'm going to switch to doing it top down right now. But I do want, at a certain point, the reamer is going to come through that bottom bushing. And when it does, then I'll switch to the side to side because I want to be able to pass it through. So top down right now just makes sense for feeding it in there. And you can see how absolutely riveting this process is. Lubricate it and we'll let the chips fall where they may. I just really wanted to say that. Who are we kidding? We're almost through. I think I can turn it from the middle, keep my finger on the end of it, because it's going to want to sail on out of there once it gets itself all the way through. And it's become very easy, and there it is, and I almost cut myself. Oh, I didn't think that socket would fit through there. Oh, that's slick. Hey, I thought that the socket would stop it, and the reason I almost cut myself is because it didn't. I just wanted to drop on through. There you go. Reamer's got a lot of brass chips on it. I'll just take and scrape those off into my little scrap metal pile over here. Should be real good now. Tell you what. So here's Kingpin. I'm going to clean this in the parts washer too because there's some cosmoline on it, but I'm just going to put it in here. I don't want it to get jammed up with chips though, so if it's unhappy, then I will extract it. It took some chips with it, but now you can see it passes through nice and easy. And it's sort of on the stiff side there, which is a good thing. We're lining up well. I think I've got to get some chips out of it. But yes, if the chips were out, then we're going to be in good shape. So I'm going to go ahead and clean it all up in my old parts washer. I'll come back and we'll put the spindle together, we'll grease it up, and we'll go ahead and sink the Kingpin into place. BRB. That there is what the bushings look like all reamed up. Now then, there's a fiber washer, spacer, thrust, distance, if you will, stacked on top of a steel milled spacer. And you want to get them all greased up and set up, and then there's a top hat cap with an index tooth on it. And that goes over everything. Now that indexes into a very specific spot that I filed in the bushings of the link pin carrier. So I'll orient that so that it can slide in. The whole spindle slides in and fits up based on crushing that distance down, and fits up nice and snug that way, and then you pass the Kingpin through. So all of that is what we're after here. Now then, we're gonna go ahead and get the spindle all set up in here, and there's really no doing this backwards because the one piece is the top and it won't fit through the other way. So thankfully, as long as you keep your carriers correct side to side, then you're not gonna be in bad shape overall. So getting this spacer cap compressed is often the very hardest part of this whole operation. These are high compression Philonic spacers that go under the cap to adjust the play in the spindle, and you ideally want it as very stiff as possible. So you file these down. I've got a double stick adhesive backed disc from like a DA sander that I put on my anvil, and then I circularly file this down, and I check it all the time with the spindle to get as tight a fit up as possible. And now we're there. So now I can sink the Kingpin through, and away we go. There's nothing particularly special about dropping the Kingpin down in here. You know, it's going to, you got to kind of align the spindle when you get to a certain point, but there's nothing that you need to know about this except for just a light layer of grease on it. So now we've slid through our upper bushing, and it's about alignment to the spindle. And the spindle is where it's going to be friction-y, to use the technical term. It's going to get all friction-y at the spindle. So put a rock around the Christmas tree. I think we're there. We're at the chamfered edge anyway. I'm going to tap on it with the brass hammer. Now we're flush with the top of the carrier. And I'm pounding against my soft jaw here, so I mean it doesn't matter that much, but you know it's locked in the vise, but I may be losing some momentum, some inertia to that, so that's okay though. And I might use the heavier hammer, sink it faster. Everything looks reasonably lined up, so I'm gonna pound it until we enter lower bushing territory, and then I might need to put it in the vise and wiggle it a little while we actually sink down into that. But for right now, this is what's necessary. What I check is that it's actually the chamfer has guided it in, and then I'm not just pushing the bushing out on the bottom. And it would appear that we are in excellent shape, and that is not happening. So clamp it back down here, send it all the way down in. Almost there, a little further, we'll be happy. Okay, now I'm about even with the brass bushing on this side, which means I should be about even with the brass bushing on the other side. My poor vise. It's getting walloped. Let me just remove some of this grease. Heck yeah. We're in like a flin. And we're on like flan. Grease. All right, check it out. So, up inside there, and you can see it's pretty flush with that bushing. I don't know if you can actually see that, but you can kind of see how flush it is with the bushing. And then this side here, oh, that's a good view. You can see how flush it is with the bushing there. And we're below our grease hole. There's such a grease hole. There you go. Spindly. The next step on all this is to press in the link pin bushings. You got to orient those so that they're lined up with those grease holes for the grease nipples and all that stuff. But this puppy is set and ready to go. So I'm gonna put it down on the bench there, get this grease off my hands, and get on to other stuff. It's actually Friday. I'm going home. And here we are ready to install the link pin bushings. Link pin bushing, link pin bushing, link pin. Okay, so there's a really important part of this process. A grease zert goes here, this little guy, right? Be threaded all up in there. So that goes there, and that's where your grease gets pushed into. However, on the inside of this, you only have a select amount of space inside there. You only have this amount of space really in here for the grease to enter. If you get this hole clocked in the wrong direction, up too high, no grease will enter this bushing, and this thing will just burn the heck out, and then you'll wallow out the bushing first, and the pin will get all destroyed, and you won't have very long or very tight suspension. However, if you line that up, there's a built-in grease groove inside there, and it'll track grease all the way around when it's pushed in. It'll push grease into this. It'll also push grease, because this is a barrel and it's all cavitied out there, it'll push grease down into the kingpin, which is important as well, and down and around the kingpin and all that. There's a cross-drilled hole in the kingpin, you might remember from earlier, and so it goes down in and then out that cross-drilled hole, and that keeps the kingpin and spindle all happy. So, what do you do? How do you figure this out? Well, there's a couple of things. You're going to mark the end, right? So you do this, bam, bada bang, bada boom. I mark it kind of the full width of the hole, because any amount of that
It can be rotated out a little bit, but any amount of that, obviously it's going to be best flow if you can get it, you know, lined up with that in the best possible spot. So I mark both sides of it, and I'll show you why. I'm going to mark both sides of this. Now, if you want to be really, really extra about things, technically, this hole, although it looketh centered, it is not. Nay, I say, it is not centered. Okay, it looks centered. It's not. Notice something about the link pin carrier and spindle carrier. The hole is also not centered. See the width here, and the width there, and the width there, and the width there, and then the hole, it's over this way on both sides, right? Now, doesn't really matter. This hole is close enough to center that even if it sits off a bit, like I said, the grease is going to find its way in. It's being forced in. It will never get blocked off completely unless you just haven't installed it all the way. If it's installed all the way, it's going to be decent. But it's extra nice if you can line up the short side with the short side and the wide side with the wide side. So, here we go. So have a look at this. Just roughly in millimeters, doing to the center of the hole from the edge of the bushing. That reads 16.18, right? Center to edge of bushing. This side, 16.8 is not center yet. So that's the wide side. If we go to center of the bushing hole rather, we're at 17.8. All right, 17.7, 17.8, somewhere in there. So this is the wide side. So what I'll generally do is drop my pen. So what I'll generally do is I'll mark the wide side with a W. And then that is the wide side there. Towards the spindle is the shallow, that's the wide. So now when this is installed and it's fully seated up and everything, that hole is going to be in alignment with this. And like I said, it doesn't make that big a difference if you do it like this. It's too hard for me to really show you, but you'll see the hole is jogged a little to the side. It's not going to be a hill of beans. This is just style points. So this wide side, so you just always make sure that you're inserting that to where it's going to eventually arrive at the width of the spindle carrier. All right, and I'll mark this one up for the full width of it. Yeah, sure. Got to work for that. 17.26 to the center. This is the wide side where my thumb is. All right, now they're all marked up. I'll show you how I press them in using my vise. First things first, dab of grease. Little dab will do ya. Grease up the outside of this bushing. Don't cover over your W. Make sure that you can read it. Remember which side is which. We just want to get this bushing started in here so it's a little bit less tricky for us to hold it and all that. Alrighty then. So, wide side, right? And we want to go, the wide side is going to be there. Sure, we'll do it this way. So, now we've got our W side is going to face the width, right? And now it's a matter of lining up inside here with our line so that it goes through and lines up with our hole. Give a nice look inside there. Make sure that it's in the cavity or lined up with the top of the hole. Moved it over to the anvil because it's just a little more stable surface. Couple of smacks with the body hammer, nice and flat. And it's seated. So now you can see it's going to line up decently. Ignore the fact if it's a little bit like that. It's going to press itself straight in a second here. You can see my sideways line, my wide marker, see where the hole is at as we're entering in here. From the inside, you can see where the line is at there, and you can see the top edge of the cutout, and we're lined up very nicely. So that hole is going to line up with that upper edge of the cutout as it enters in, and grease will pack into there just fine. My operation here, generally speaking, I'll do this with two sockets, one from the back side and one from the front side of the bushing, or however you want to look at it, really. We're going to come out a bit here with the vise, get to a point where, and everything's greasy and annoying right now, So it all just wants to fall apart, but hey, don't we all? All right. Now we're all locked up and blocked up. When that bushing pushes through there, it's going to dead stop against this socket, so we can go pretty much until it dead stops. And now it's just a matter of doing the old rotate around until it's all done up. And of course this spindle is right in the way. And as before mentioned, this is my beater vise, and it does a good job of being a press. Ooh, that feels like it might be dead stopped. Cradle it up here a little bit. Toss that guy down, hold my beer. Let's see what we got. Yep, we are pressed flat in there. So there's our line, which means that's where our hole is. And you can see the hole down in there. Nice and centered up. Could be rotated a little bit more down, I'll give it that. But grease will get in there just fine. This next one I'll probably rotate down a little bit more, and it'll have a little bit more direct. But there is an oval pocket to the top side of it there. It's not simply, here if you look at it, it's not, everything you see is not simply what you would view through there. There's that ovalized pocket to the top. So there's plenty of room for grease to get up and in there. And these holes never line up 100% perfectly, but a little bit more downward rotation would be nice. Rinse and repeat, same process. So again, you got your wide side back here, you got your narrow side there. So the W, so we're going like this with it. Okay. Okay. And we want to line that up with the hole and all that stuff. I think I've got a little bit better set on it now. It's angled down a little bit more. Let's give it a smack. Alright. Got it reasonably squared up there. Have a quick look at it. Yeah, the hole's rotated down a little bit more. There's our line on the inside, and like I said, the width of that hole, I make the line the entire width, so you can see that the top cutout, that line will pass over, so the full width of that will be in good space. Good space, man. Spaceman. Here we go. Rinse and repeat. See what we got. Well, let's press this bushing on down in. Oh, this one's going a lot easier. That other one was, the carrier might have been a tad bit banged up from the years of abuse. But it went.
Here's a fun one. Shock absorbers. They shouldn't take any time at all, right? Right, they really shouldn't. We've got this disc brake conversion I've done on this beautiful 62 Beetle that's pretty original overall and just a really nice driver quality car, right? It's a 62 Ragtop, so check out those blingy brakes. What? Okay, yeah. Shock absorbers. They've been on here for years. Well, they had been. I took it off already. I can't tell you how many times I see this too. Look at this. That's the inner sleeve over this stud. That's the inner sleeve of the shock absorber with all this rubber remnant around it. The other side did the same thing, man. Same exact thing over here. I pulled it off already. I'm gonna have to give that a little emery paper and smooth it out, make it nice and pretty. But same thing. So we're gonna have to light it on fire. Grab the big channel locks, twist and twist and twist and fight and fight and fight. And that sleeve should pull off there. Or I can cut it off, but you run the risk of damaging the stud below. So I'd rather not mess with cutting it off and rather just light it on fire. It's so much fun. 40-year-old cars, what can you do, right? I mean, that's why what should take 5 minutes can sometimes take 2.5 hours, which is not how long I've spent on it, but just as an illustration of things. Overall though, hey, look at that. You know, we sandblasted the spindles and link pin carriers and painted them up, and so they're all pretty. And this brake on there is pretty. Spindle and link pin, all nice and beautiful. This side's beautiful as well. You're beautiful too, beautiful people. It's a beautiful day outside. Not really, it's kind of ugly. It's been raining. So, guys next door are making beautiful noises. What more could you want? All right, let's light that shit on fire. We're gonna have so much fun with fire now. How do you like my song? We're gonna have so much fun with fire. We're glowing. All right, so now it's time for the big old channel locks. Get them up on here. Get up on there. Oh man, I'm gonna adjust them. I don't want to adjust them. Come on. Come on, man. Right there. There we go. Let's see if it'll spin. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, squeaky heat. Good old-fashioned wiggle and go. And as you get close to the end, you gotta brace yourself. Make sure you don't hit yourself in the face. I'm not telling you how to do this, I'm just reminding myself that I'm about to hit myself in the face. Oh yeah, almost did. Got that. That wasn't as cool as I thought it could be. I was gonna try and throw it with the pliers, but it didn't work. All right. Party time. Woo! Might still be hot, but oh, look at that. There's a little washer there too. There should not be a washer on the inside. My guess is this is some kind of an anti-slip knurly washer thing. Or it was. Like one of those inside capture washers. And tippy tappy. Yeah, it kind of looks like that, doesn't it? Yeah. Alright, well that's down. Okay, so it's hot, yeah, but you know, so are you, good looking people. It's hot. I polished it up nice, but that might be actually a little too polished up nice. Let me take a closer look. Oh, nah, that'll work. A little polish. We're okay. We're okay. I'll get some anti-seize on there before I put the shock absorber on it. And with anti-seize on that, it'll be good for years and years to come. That's all the last guy had to do, was just... But he didn't do it. And he made me go through all of that. Some people. Logo out. Make it classy. You guys next door are chit-chatting, so I apologize for the extra sound. The extra sound is compress. Compress you. Keep it classy with the logo out. That's what I'm talking about. It's another new song. This is a really nice car. That is a great build. I'm excited to get it out on the road. It's more or less just a stock Beetle. I mean, it is just a stock Beetle, except for these puppies. It's a stock Beetle with extra safety, but I got to go through the wiring too. There's some wiring bugaboos. So we'll get to the bottom of those though for this nice gentleman. It's nice when they're stock. Like, I like a heavily modified Beetle. My personal car's heavily modified. But let me tell you, when they're stock, there's something just special about them. Exactly what Ferdinand Porsche would have wanted, you know? And there's something really nice about that. There's something amazing about these though, because although the rest of the car's stock power plant and all that stuff, itty bitty little carburetor, all the fun stuff, everything you want, these guys are going to look beautiful, but they're going to be hidden under hubcaps and all that. They're going to make it so it stops, like really stops, like modern car stops. And I just got rear-ended the other day in my F-250. So stopping is important. The person behind me, if they had done it, then I wouldn't have had a messed up back for about half a day. So there's that. Anyway, other shock absorber time. Let's go. Logo out. Check torque on those in a bit. You're almost back to the road, little buddy. You're almost back to the road. Got just a couple more things to do. We'll be there. Well then. Shock absorbers are on at all four corners. The brakes are bled. I gotta replace the sway bar bushings. It's keeping the same sway bar. So I'm gonna get after those and then replace the steering damper because that's old. Throw the wheels and tires on, check alignment. And then it's down to tune-up stuff. So, and there's some wiring. Yeah, try my pinky. There's some wiring to look over. So we'll be looking over the wiring. But hey, I mean, it's shaping up really nice. I'm excited about it. Anyway, that's what I wanted to show you guys as far as the shock absorbers go. Just how maddening that is to discover that, you know, stuff's rusted and stuck in place. I mean, look at how gnarly that is. That's the sleeve that was all caught on there that I had to heat the heck out of and rip off of there. So, don't need it anymore, but wasn't fun. Wasn't not fun. It was kind of fun. Actually, I enjoyed it a lot. It was a ton of fun. Wow, reframing things works. That was so much fun. So the 62 two-fold ragtop is all set and done. We did disc brake conversion on the front end. We got a bunch of electrical gremlins sorted out, so now it has headlights, it has turn signals, it has a working horn, you know, the things that it should have to be an on-the-road vehicle. Right? How fun. This thing is ready for the road, and so what more perfect day than to test drive? Wait, that's all not good English. Couldn't be a more perfect day to test drive. It couldn't be more perfecter. Yeah, the environment for test driving could not be more perfecter. And so we are going to take this living art, this perfection of a vehicle down the road, see what the heck happens. I've got a fire extinguisher with me. You need one of those, always. thanks for watching. I'd appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to support in other ways, check out the Be Air-Cooled website. It's beaircooled.com. And you can maybe grab a t-shirt or get yourself a lid. Whatever makes you feel happy. Floats your boat, powers your wagon. This is all about fun, doing this because it's something that I love doing. And I like being able to share it with you. So the best way that you can help is to give me those likes, subscribe to the channel, and become a part of this motoring experience. Become a part of the classic car community, become a part of the air-cooled community. Be air-cooled.